Welcome to the Economic Development Council's Vision of Progress. I'm your host, Nathan Sparks, and today we're talking with Outgoing Chairman Jim Heald. Jim, welcome back to Visions of Progress.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan. I appreciate the invitation.
Well, it's truly a pleasure to have you back on the set here, and you've had quite a year. I was reflecting on some of the things that have happened over the past 12 months, and the EDC has unveiled a new website. We've, of course, transitioned to new leadership. We've introduced a new committee and Unmanned Systems Network. What would you say you're proudest of over the past year?
Well, there's really three things, Nathan, and working together as a team, I think, is a key part of any organization that I've been involved with. But the three things that I'm really proud of is, one, keeping the organization running. You view a transition as one full of opportunities, and we were able to take advantage of a lot of those opportunities. The staff was fabulous in terms of stepping up to the things that they needed to do. Two of the ladies in particular, Kay Rasmussen as the interim president, was absolutely fabulous in reorganizing some of the job duties and things like that, reaching out to organizations, making sure that we kept the Economic Development Council's main job operating the way it was supposed to. Caroline McCoy was absolutely fabulous in stepping up and taking care of the projects. The recent announcement with BitWizards is just one of those examples of keeping the mission going during the period of transition.
Right.
The second thing I think I'm most proud of is that we took a concerted effort to strengthen our ties, our relationships with the communities, with the different organizations, the chambers of commerce, the city councils, the board of county commissioners. Between Kay and I, and a lot of times together, we went out and met with every single one of the organizations and tried to use this transition period as an opportunity to get the team back together and get it stronger. And the third thing that I would say that I'm most proud of is laying the foundation for the future. I thought when we came into this year it would be about preserve and diversify.
Right.
But we had to change our focus, and so we stepped back. We looked at the opportunities that were available. We got the ideas together of laying the foundation. Part of it was setting up the USNet, looking out into the future of what we would want to do with unmanned systems. Part of it's the new websites and outreach and things along those lines. But part of it was the search committee and making sure that we had the right leadership in place for the future. And the team that did that all the way through, from the staff to the board of directors to our investors, everybody stepped up, came together, and I think that is why I'm so proud to have been part of the organization during this past year.
Well, all excellent points, Jim, and I have to say, while I've only been on board for 4 months now, I have truly enjoyed serving with you, and everything that I hear from those who've served with you much longer is those things wouldn't have happened without your leadership, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You've been involved with the Economic Development Council since 2006, you and your company, Endyne. Can you talk a little bit about what compelled you and your company to become involved with the EDC?
Well, there's the basic thought that Endyne comes into a community whenever we get a contract, that we are part of the community. We're not some outside company that's just there to use the resources and then leave. We are part of the community. Our employees are part of the community. The leaders, the managers get involved. I look at myself as an example, and I've got children that are here, I've got grandchildren that are here, they've grown up through the school systems. This community is very important to us, and the economic well-being of this community is a good part of it. Now, I have to admit that Endyne also is a defense contractor, and the Economic Development Council puts defense as one of its main things in terms of preserving the capabilities of the great assets that we have here in the Eglin community.
Absolutely, and in fact, I understand that your involvement with the Economic Development Council began with the Defense Support Initiative, and that's a group that you remain involved with today.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the Defense Support Initiative and why you think that's so important to the EDC and in the broader context to the region.
Well, obviously, defense is one of the economic drivers here in the Okaloosa County. In fact, in the Tri-County region, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton, the Defense Support Initiative is a Tri-County committee.
Right.
We've got representatives from each one of the three counties, whether they're chamber presidents, whether they're county commissioners, whether they're members of the various military affairs committees. They all come together to support the military community here. Defense probably drives a majority of our economic engine here in Okaloosa County. The preservation of this jewel that we have called the Eglin Test and Training Complex is absolutely key to, I think, the nation's survival. It has very unique aspects, capabilities. It's one of the key parts of the Major Range and Test Facilities base that this nation uses to develop new capabilities for our military. Here on the Eglin Ranges, we primarily look at armament systems and weapons. Mm-hmm. We need the large open spaces to be able to protect the public from the very explosive work that we are doing out there. It has a lot of capabilities. We do everything from training the EOD people on the Navy EOD school, Explosive Ordnance Disposal School, actually trains all of the EOD technicians throughout the Department of Defense, Department of Justice. So it's very critical for our nation's defense to have that capability here. Mm-hmm. We've got Army trainers in the 6th Ranger Training Battalion and then the war fighters in the 7th Special Forces Group. We train both the maintenance folks and the pilots on the F-35, the nation's newest fighter aircraft. And of course, the whole integrated air armament weapons research, development, acquisition, test, and evaluation enterprise. Quite a mouthful, but we've got from the laboratories through the developmental testers, through the operational testers, the end users, we've got the acquisition people, all here at Eglin. And so preserving that capability, when we have in our nation right now, we've had a series of BRACs, mm-hmm. base realignments and closures.
Right.
We know that there are stressors out there from the nation, from the federal budget, where we are currently running very severe deficits, and so the pressures are going to be to consolidate defense capabilities, remove things that are not unique, remove things that are duplicative, and so we have to, as a community, mm-hmm. be able to articulate that. The Defense Support Initiative is the way that we do that most of the time. We reach out to the state legislators, to the federal legislators, to the military to support the military missions and the military communities.
Right. And our viewers may know of military affairs committees that exist within chambers of commerce, and those military affairs committees, or MACs, are involved in the Defense Support Initiative, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, we have every single one from Santa Rosa County through Walton County involved in the Defense Support Initiative. It's the only place where we can gather all of the voices together and come out with a common theme, a common set of issues and solutions that we can present to not only the community but the legislators and the decision makers. It allows us to both gather the information from the communities to support what the communities are interested in, and also to send a common message out to all the communities. So it's very important that we have that capability to bring all the MACs together in one spot.
Absolutely. You know, Jim, since you've been involved with the EDC, it's truly amazing to think back on all that we as a nation have been through in terms of the Great Recession, in terms of here in the region, the oil spill, the Deepwater Horizons oil spill, sequestration, and most recently the government shutdown. But, you know, throughout all of that, Okaloosa County has remained very resilient.
Absolutely.
What do you attribute that resiliency to?
Well, Nathan, there's actually a couple of things. One, I think the defense communities is and the amount of jobs that are created by the Defense Department here in Okaloosa County, in the Tri-County area, is a large part of that. Mm-hmm. The second leg of the stool with tourism, you know, we live in a beautiful place. Right. The quality of life, the quality of place is just astounding here. And so having that draw, when the Defense Department may go down a little bit, the tourism may come up a little bit, we've got two very good legs of the stool. We really need to work on a third leg to the stool. Now, some people say that retail and those kinds of things might be the third leg. Retail comes when the big jobs are there. What we need is a third part of the engine. And the retail jobs will come to support the major manufacturing jobs. Right. And so that's what we need to do. We've been resilient so far because either the Defense Department or the tourism have been able to offset the other activities. But in the future, we need to make sure that we've got a good, solid, three-legged stool instead of a two-legged stool.
Well, in 30 seconds or less, how do we do that, Jim?
Well, I think the biggest part is that we all work together for a common goal. Having you here is a large part of it. You did exactly what the board expected you to do in getting the board together and having a strategic offsite to look out in the future. We've got good plans. We've got ideas you've come up with, getting the whole 5-county area to go off and look at the EADS opportunities that may be out there for bringing in manufacturing. I won't tell you your job. You know it better than I do in terms of making sure that we've got product available. We can reach out with marketing to get the right customers to come in and build us some capabilities so that we can then have the jobs in the local area.
Absolutely, and I look forward to working with you, continuing forward and continuing to do just that at the Economic Development Council. Jim, it's been a pleasure to have you back on the set, and again, thank you for your leadership this past year. It's been much appreciated. We've been talking with Jim Heald, former chairman of the Economic Development Council. When we come back, we'll be talking with Angela Balent, the FY 2014 chairman. We'll be right back.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes. And stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house. Visit weather.com/ready and let the Weather Channel help you prepare your family for emergencies.
The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation presents Color Me Cured 5K and 10K Fun Run on November 30th at the Fort Walton Beach Landing. Check-in is at 8 a.m., the run starts at 9, and winds through Fort Walton Beach as runners are drenched in an array of vibrant colors, all to support JDRF's mission to cure, better treat, and prevent type 1 diabetes. After the run, enjoy great food and entertainment at KC's Sandbar and Grill. For more information, call 830-7126 or visit us at facebook.com/JDRF Color Me Cured.
The Hoover Dam can hold over 9 trillion gallons of water. How? Its arch construction diverts pressure into its neighboring canyon walls. The same principle applies in business. You must find support from the right partners who can help make you stronger. Choose a partner who is able to support you in every way. Cox Business.
Welcome back to the Economic Development Council's Vision of Progress. I'm your host, Nathan Sparks, and in our last segment, we heard from the EDC's outgoing chairman, Jim Heald. In this segment, we're talking with EDC's incoming chair, Angela Balent. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nathan.
It's great to have you with us, and I'm certainly looking forward to serving with you as chair this year.
I'm honored to be chairman of the EDC this year, and I'm very much looking forward to working with you, our investors, and our community partners. There's really a lot of change taking place in the organization right now. Your passion for economic development is certainly contagious, and I feel lucky to be chairman at this particular time. There's just so much happening in our community, so many potential opportunities, from the unmanned aerial vehicles to Airbus. There's just so much going on. We have an expression that we like to use a lot at work, and it's either you're changing or you're dying. And right now, the EDC feels very much alive, and that's exciting.
Well, it's a pleasure to hear you say that, and I would agree with you coming in as I have new. Certainly there appears to be a lot of enthusiasm about what we do right now, and that's exciting. Now, Angela, I know you're not a native of the area, but you have been here for more than 20 years. If I recall, you're from Dayton, Ohio, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
but Fort Walton Beach is essentially home.
Oh, definitely. Fort Walton is home.
And you've seen some changes in that 20 plus years that you've been here.
It really is amazing, the changes that have taken place. Certainly we love Dayton and still have family there, but you just
Right.
can't compare the two places in terms of weather. So Fort Walton is definitely our home. When I look back and think about the changes that have taken place, probably the two areas that have had the most dramatic change are Destin and Crestview. When I came here in 1992, I think the Fuddpuckers in Destin was pretty much considered the end of the world.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it ended right there. And working in Crestview in 1992, there were about 4 options as it related to places to go for lunch. So there has definitely been some dramatic change throughout our community. And definitely, again, very exciting to see that type of growth in a 20-year period.
Now, I should have mentioned at the outset, you're a partner with Warren Averett, a local CPA firm, actually not local, regional. And your firm has been involved with EDC since 2007, 2008. What compelled Warren Averett and you specifically to get involved with the Economic Development Council, Angela?
Well, Warren Averett, as you mentioned, is a large multi-state firm. We
Right.
have about 800 employees. But sharing our success is one of the core values of Warren Averett. And from the time I started with our legacy firm in 1992, I was encouraged to get involved, to be part of the community. And the other mantra was, don't just be a member, be a leader.
Right.
So I've taken that to heart. I will certainly say part of my passion for the EDC and the various other nonprofit and civic organizations that I've been involved with certainly came from growing up. My dad certainly made time to coach soccer teams when he knew nothing
Right.
about soccer.
Right.
My mom was actively involved, and they both worked as well, and they made time to give back. And I think that's the best part about giving back. The best kept secret is how good it makes you feel, how it makes you feel connected and part of something more important. That's how I'm viewing the EDC this year. The EDC has the potential to provide the long-term economic sustainment to Okaloosa County. And what we can do today as investors and business partners can ensure the generations behind us have boundless opportunities for success. So,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And economic development is essentially what you've just said. It's about facilitating a better future. It's about creating career opportunities. And I know you're the mother of 3 school-age children, so I know that's got to be something that resonates with you in particular.
It really does. It really does. Our son just entered Fort Walton Beach High School, and we've got 2 daughters over at Liza Jackson. And, talking to different people in our community, I'll hear, young adults struggling, after they graduate from high school or college, and they can't find a job or can't find a job in their career field. And then converse to that, I'll hear about people in our community, businessmen and women, who are looking for trained labor but can't always find the individuals that they need to fill those highly technical positions. Thankfully, our education partners, Okaloosa County School District, the University of West Florida, Northwest Florida State College, Jobs Plus, it's so great that they're so connected and so integrated into the EDC. But the importance of our mission, the EDC's mission, to basically bring high-wage jobs and technology to Okaloosa County, it can't be understated for basically the generations behind us. And conversely, we need to make sure that we're communicating with our educational partners about where the jobs are. What type of training do our young adults need, whether it be technical training, higher education training, but what type of skill set do these individuals need, so when they leave the nest, they're able to go out and find good, solid employment.
Absolutely, very true. And I'm sure in your role as a CPA, you have the opportunity to interface with a lot of different companies, a lot of different organizations, and you have the opportunity to hear those common themes regarding workforce and skills. And most recently, we've had the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council come online. Of course, Greg Britton, who serves on our executive committee, is chairing that group. And it seems like there's a new dialogue taking place about the workforce of tomorrow. And I think here in Okaloosa County, truly, we've got some of the best answers around regarding that workforce of tomorrow.
Absolutely. And again, that's where I think the collaboration just becomes so important, that we're all speaking to each other about where the needs are, and then making those training opportunities available for the individuals that can serve those positions.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Now, I've come in new in my position, as you know, and over the past 4 months, I've been frankly blown away at the tremendous enthusiasm and interest in the Economic Development Council and the business of economic development, and excitement about the future. Is that a sense that I just have as the new person, or do you have that too?
No, absolutely. Okaloosa County is great, and I think what makes it great is its people. Ever since I moved here in 1992, this community has been extremely dynamic. I think part of that, as Jim mentioned, is there's a very high interest in this community, significant collaboration with our military partners to protect their mission. And certainly, first off, that's because we so much appreciate the sacrifices that the men and women are making for our great country. But secondary to that is certainly the economic drivers that our military partners brings. We have had some major shocks to our economy.
Right.
We've had the sequestration, the shutdown, the oil spill, and it does, I think, put renewed focus on, as a community, how we need that third leg of the stool, the greater economic diversification. And I think the county and its citizens and its business partners, after living through the recession, we're motivated, we're interested. We're interested in helping the EDC bring new jobs, new technologies, economic diversification to our area.
I agree. So moving to the future, in your upcoming year as chair, what would you like to see the EDC accomplish, and specifically what can our viewers look forward to the EDC perhaps launching or tackling in this coming year?
Well, first off is continued collaboration with our community partners, our government partners, our education institutions, our chambers, our business community. That is really important to me. I think you've done a fantastic job in your first 4 months here of strengthening those relationships. But success is driven by teamwork. And if we bring new jobs and new opportunities to Okaloosa County, we all win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've heard Gray Swope, the Secretary of Commerce for Florida, say quite often that economic development is a team sport. And that's very true. Angela, if we have success, it's not just the Economic Development Council having success. We have success because of all of our partners and our collaborative process And I found, again, that we've got partners that are very willing to participate. I've, as you know, spent some time with the chambers, with our elected leaders, and all across the board. We've got partners at every turn, and that's gratifying because it's not something that you find in every community, and truly it's something that I look forward to making the most of.
Great.
Any other thoughts for our viewers before we?
Oh, absolutely. I think the other two things that I would really like to focus on in 2014 is looking at our assets as well as looking at where our weaknesses are.
Right.
We need to hone in on the technologies and jobs that are the best fit for our geographical region. You know, we've got to make sure that basically we know where our strengths are and we can cater to those strengths.
Right.
And certainly we want a clear vision for our investors. We want our investors to know what the EDC is doing and how we can all drive that economic engine, how we can collaboratively push that needle forward. So those are really the three things that I'd like to see happen in 2014, and I'm certain with the help of the board and with your leadership that we will make that happen.
I would agree with you, and certainly I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that any business interests that are watching, any private individuals that are watching, if they care to get involved with the Economic Development Council, we'd love to chat with them. A lot of exciting things happening, as we've heard today.
Absolutely.
Well, Angela, it's truly been a pleasure spending some time with you. I look forward to an exciting year ahead and look forward to coming back often to provide our viewers with updates. Thank you for tuning in to Visions of Progress. I'm Nathan Sparks, your host, and I look forward to visiting with you next time.